UI7 News. University of Illinois police arrest the student suspected for vandalizing school property.
I know it'll take a lot of money to clean up, so that's probably not something anyone's looking forward to.
Senate leaders avoid a government shutdown by reaching a 2-year budget deal.
Many homeless people are without shelter during this frigid winter. Why experts say services are limited and what needs to be done to fix the problem.
UI7 News starts right now.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio at the University of Illinois campus, UI7 News, your U of I news source.
Good evening, I'm Nia Crittenden.
And I'm Cristiano Simonetta, and this is your 5:30 edition of UI7 News.
In our first story tonight, no charges are filed against the suspect accused of vandalizing buildings across campus.
Police say sophomore Matthew Herrera was arrested and released from county jail earlier today for allegedly spraying graffiti on the Illini Union, the undergraduate library, the arcade building, and Granger Library. Champaign County State's Attorney Julia Reitz is asking for University of Illinois police to investigate more before filing any charges. UI7's Samantha McQueen gives us a look at how students and police are reacting on campus.
Police are investigating those responsible for spray painting tags on 4 campus buildings and 1 on Green Street. Public Information Officer Patrick Wade says the buildings were tagged around 1 a.m. Friday night.
Fortunately, in the past we've seen graffiti with more concerning messages, some obscene or offensive or things like that. We're fortunate that this particular series doesn't seem to be that. But it is still obviously a crime.
Wade also says police have not been able to identify each tag, but this is also not the first time people have tagged a high-trafficked area.
U of I student Amy Diaz says she is shocked that this would happen.
Well, I think it's just disrespectful. I wasn't expecting this when I came here. It's my first semester here, but I know it'll take a lot of money to clean up, so that's probably not something anyone's looking forward to.
Another U of I student, Bassam Salah, says just hearing the news just did not...
That the union got tagged on Reddit, and I saw the picture of the union and the graffiti, and it was just horrible that we would do this to such a beautiful campus. And I mean, the fact that these keep going on and there's so many is just like horrible. It really does sadden me that this is happening.
Removal costs will be about $500 each. In Champaign-Urbana, I'm Samantha McQueen, UI7 News.
And more delays in the trial of a former University of Illinois student accused of kidnapping an international U of I student. In an update on the Ying Zong kidnapping case, prosecutors say they will cooperate with defense attorneys to give them more time to prepare for the jury trial. On Wednesday, they announced they have no objection to continuing the trial amid a recent request from the U.S. Attorney's Office to vacate all existing deadlines to seek the death penalty if Christensen is convicted. Brent Christensen is a former U of I doctoral student charged with kidnapping, torturing, and killing Zong last summer. Earlier this month, a woman came forward and revealed to attorneys that she was also approached that same day on June 9th, just 4 hours prior to the time Zong got into the black sedan and was never seen or heard from again. The woman picked out a photo of Christensen in an array of 6 shown to her by the FBI. Attorneys for Christensen are asking to have the woman's testimony left out of the upcoming trial. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty.
And I really hope to see an update on that case moving forward. Sticking with local news, the AAUP, or Association of University Professors, is backing U of I professor Jay Rosenstein after his arrest at the State Farm Center in January. Rosenstein was accused of videotaping pro-chief members in a public restroom. However, the U of I professor was later released without any charges. U of I Chancellor Robert Jones placed Rosenstein on paid leave and plans to meet with the Faculty Advisory Committee before proceeding with any further action. The AAUP is threatening to put the university under censure if Rosenstein is not taken off paid leave.
And the mayor of Urbana, Diane Marlin, releases an emergency order for this year's unofficial St. Patrick's Day. Mayor Diane Marlin says she has reasonable belief that there may be a threat to the public health, safety, welfare, and property. Unofficial St. Patrick's Day is a long-standing tradition on the U of I campus since 1996. Students partake in large-scale parties and alcohol consumption at campus bars. Her order calls for an increase in security at bar entrances and a strict no entrance policy for people under the age of 21. In addition, no bars with alcohol licenses will be permitted to sell any alcoholic liquor on a discounted basis during the event.
City planners in Champaign have been hoping to build a city plaza for over a decade, and they may have finally found their location for one. City planners in Champaign are looking to gauge interest in a future plaza downtown. The surface parking lot at West Washington Street and North Neal Street is the proposed site for the plaza, which will provide a new urban space for Champaign's downtown core. Senior planner Lacey Rainslow says the plaza could serve as the spark the city needs to turn itself into a must-experience entertainment district.
We have a lot more residential development in the area, and now is a great time to start thinking about these quality of life features and these gathering spaces in the heart of our downtown.
The project was first introduced as part of Champaign's downtown plan from 2005, but has picked up steam once again thanks to successful surrounding businesses. To get one step closer to the plaza becoming a reality, the planning committee is setting up events throughout a 9-month period to hear from residents and get their thoughts, both positive and negative. LaShawn Franklin, a resident of Champaign for the past 25 years, says she would simply like more events she can attend with her family downtown.
Stuff like that, I could take my kids to, or either a skating ring or something like that, so we won't have to go all the way out to Savoy, because I'd take them all the way out there. Some entertainment for them and also the adults.
Associate Planner Tina Ansong echoed Franklin's comments as she wants to attract as diverse of a group as possible in order to maximize the space for a variety of uses.
Whether it's families, different cultural groups, age, abilities, we're hoping that it can meet the needs of a wider cross-section of our community.
And while several members of the City Planning Committee hope to see the plaza complete by 2020, there is no current construction timeline or budget set in stone for the project.
Negotiations between the University of Illinois Graduate Employees Organization, or GEO, and University of Illinois officials are underway tonight after hours of bargaining that started at 9 this morning. Members of the GEO say they hope to avoid a strike, but are arguing for what they call a fair contract, and say the current offer is, quote, below their living standards and detrimental to their access to education at UIUC. Today marks the 177th day without a contact for the organization. The GEO represents approximately 2,700 teaching and graduate assistants on campus.
Well, stocks took quite a hit today, Naya. Say that 3 times fast. On Monday, when the S&P 500 stock index fell more than 4%, its worst drop since 2011. And Dow Jones fell more than 1,000 points, its biggest point drop in history. Stock prices have been rising over the last decade with some of the lowest global interest rates since World War II, but apparently investors believe the global economy may be doing too well. Markets may continue to drop in the next few weeks, so keep a close eye on your stocks. I'm not sure, Naya, what this means for Bitcoin because, frankly, I don't even know how it works.
Senate leaders reach a 2-year budget deal after weeks of debate. The vote took place earlier today. The plan boosts military and non-defense spending as well as disaster relief.
I'm pleased to announce that we have reached a 2-year budget deal. The budget deal doesn't have everything Democrats want. It doesn't have everything Republicans want, but it has a great deal of what the American people want.
The deal still has to pass through the House of Representatives before the president can sign off. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi opposes the deal because it does not advance bipartisan legislation to protect dreamers or recipients of the DACA program. If the House doesn't pass the budget deal, the government could face a shutdown at the end of the week. And another one at that.
Champaign-grown Mary Frances Fagan died this week after battling cancer at the age of 63. A graduate of the College of Media, Fagan took her reporting skills to WPGU where she covered state and local politics. She was known for her 23-year-long career as a spokeswoman for American Airlines. In 2011, the University of Illinois recognized Fagan as one of its Chicago Alumni of the Year. Sad to see her go.
Yeah. But the world's most powerful rocket is orbiting around the sun tonight. History was made yesterday in Florida at the Kennedy Space Center, where the rocket named Falcon Heavy was launched into space. SpaceX founder Elon Musk put his own Tesla on the inaugural Falcon Heavy flight that is orbiting around the sun, almost as far out as Mars, actually. The car radio is playing David Bowie's Space Oddity on repeat. SpaceX also managed to guide 2 of the Falcon Heavy's first-stage rocket boosters to land upright on Earth. This victory marks a huge step forward for SpaceX, who has already had successfully revolutionized the rocket industry with its groundbreaking technology.
What is Elon Musk going to do next, Naya? Hopefully not build robots, because honestly, Will Smith taught us a very valuable lesson about that.
Well, if Sophia the robot has anything to go by, then we're done for. And up next, we'll take a look at how one board member on the CU Immigration Forum, DACA, is impacting students on this campus.
And later, is our campus really green? And how important is recycling on campus? Find out after the break.
They may well not be there.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, they can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Bye-bye. Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
So we were walking to school. I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really want
smart.
cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have
at
another
school
bad day at
today.
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
CU Immigration Forum board member Benjamin Mueller says the Immigration Forum started a candlelight vigil tonight at the 5 p.m. to support the Dreamers. He also says that it is important for students on campus to recognize that their fellow classmates might just be DACA recipients, and those students might not be at this university come March. The Immigration Forum.
They may well not be there. They may be deported. They may be torn away from their families. They may be torn away from the only country they know. And these are their fellow students.
The Immigration Forum will continue to support Dreamers to allow them to remain on campus to pursue their education.
The university's facilities and services is working to increase green activity all throughout our campus. UI7's Stella Yu has more.
Waste management and recycling within facilities and services work to maintain U of I's sustainability. Every building under the university is required to have at least one blue recycling bin that allows paper streams or drinking containers.
We have a policy on campus that the paper that we buy should have at least 30% recycled content in it.
White and her team are working to create a greener campus by placing blue bins in visible areas.
We have a diversion rate of 30%, and we're trying to get that up all the way to 45%.
Recycling is an everyday operation here at the University of Illinois. It is as simple as putting a cereal box into one of these blue bins that can be found on our campus.
If you're the one drinking the bottle, you need to put it in the recycling bin, take personal responsibility for the results and the impacts of your waste stream.
Despite the efforts of facilities and services, some U of I students think otherwise about the recycling culture at the university.
From what I've seen, I haven't seen much recycling on campus, so I definitely think there's a lot of room for improvement. I think developing a culture of recycling is very important to developing a community that's aware of environmental issues and sustainable issues.
One U of I student says that there is a way to encourage recycling among his peers.
A lot of teachers bring papers to class. They'll bring like a stapled thing of papers. And they could just encourage that when students are done with it or at the end of the semester that they could recycle that.
The efforts of facilities and services may not be well known, but why it shows us why we should care.
We're using what we have already pulled out of the ecosystem and using it in the economy in a circular way to save energy and save the world.
In Champaign, Stella Yu, UI7 News.
Campus Services does not stop at recycling. With intense weather on the rise, Campus Services is working hard to clear the sidewalks and salt the ice. We'll go back to UI7 Stella Yu with more.
Champaign is a city known for its harsh winter conditions. The University of Illinois has a running system in place during heavy snowfall.
Snow and ice removal operations at the university, it's considered priority work, so anytime, day or night, once we get either winter weather or kind of a wintry mix, snowfall or ice, you're going to have more than 125 individuals at FNS in U.
U of I students and residents comment on the university's efforts in clearing the snow.
Sidewalks have been pretty good, paved, The salt's been around. Some people complain about the environmental issue on the salt, and they can replace it with, I think, like wheat or something.
The salt is really working because if it's snow on the ground and freeze up, we would all be slipping and sliding right now. They doing their job with the salt part.
Students feel that the university could work on clearing the areas outside of campus.
I don't really feel like they do a good job on the side streets at all. I feel like they can improve, but this look nice, but on the side streets, like in neighborhoods, I don't feel like they shovel at all.
I feel like, main quad's shoveled right now, but over by PAR, there's a lot of ice.
The teamwork that you have on campus is you have very dedicated, hardworking, and skilled individuals who are out, who know what their assignments are.
With the rise of cold conditions here in Champaign, the facilities and services are working their best to shovel the snow, pour salt into ice, and protect students on their way to class. In Champaign, Stella Yu, UI7 News.
It's been a few days since See You at Home's 7th annual One Winter Night fundraiser took place. UI7's Olivia Schmidt tells us why this one event isn't enough to support the homeless in our community. Take a look.
Some people in Champaign are braving the cold to help fellow community members who don't have a place to sleep.
If we are blessed and have a nice house and a warm house and food, then we need to pay it forward and help out the other people that don't have that.
Fundraisers gathered along Neal Street this past weekend to experience what it might be like to be without a home for a night. Hundreds of people slept in cardboard boxes like these to bring awareness to the homeless in our community. And while One Winter Night raised $147,000, See You at Home Assistant Coordinator Terry Andrews says this annual event is simply not enough.
We need to break the stigma of this homeless. It's such a bad word, you might say, when you hear, oh, that's a homeless individual.
Andrews was once homeless himself.
I have been on the street before. I have been homeless.
And he says he knows what it's like to be lonely on the streets.
You just feel like you're all alone and the world doesn't want you anymore. From my own experience, that's a very, very raw feeling.
However, the streets may be the only option for some people in Champaign. And See You at Home Executive Director Rob Dahlhaus says the services are limited and the homeless are often forgotten.
It's easy for you to walk down Green Street and pretend that folks in that kind of situation don't exist.
So the next time you see a homeless person, Andrew says we should pay more attention to them.
They're all seeking community. They just want to feel a part of this world because they have nothing. They have no one.
In Champaign, Olivia Schmidt, UI7 News.
Well, it's been really cold outside lately, but the weather has been up and down. I know we had a few weeks there where the weather's actually up to the 60s.
Well, I don't know about you, Naya. I love the snow, all of it. I don't care if it stays at 10 degrees the entire weekend because all it reminds me of is playing outdoor hockey growing up on the ponds.
No, well, you're alone on that one.
All right, agree to disagree, Naya.
The snow will be back next week. But we'll come back with Samantha McQueen for more after the break.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. no one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listened.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Let's check in with Samantha McQueen for a look at the weather.
Right now is very sunny, but also very chilly, so we're going to take a look at our local forecast. Here in Champaign-Urbana, we have a high of 19 degrees and also a high of 19 degrees up in Rantoul and in Decatur. If we go a little further south, we have a high of 22 degrees in Springfield. And now we are going to move to our Midwest temperatures. Up in the Windy City, we have a high of 19 degrees. And if we go a little further south, we have a high of 33 degrees in Paducah, and we have a high of 35 in Louisville. And we are going to move to our national temperatures. Up where the Super Bowl was, in Minneapolis, we have a high of 10 degrees. And if we move to the West Coast, we have a high of 75 degrees in Los Angeles, and also a high of 80 degrees in beautiful Miami. We are going to move to tonight's forecast. We have a high of 10 degrees tonight, mostly cloudy with east winds going at 3 miles per hour. Not too windy, but still have your winter jacket out there. Tomorrow we have a high of 33 degrees, mostly cloudy with winds of southeast miles per hour at 6 miles per hour. Now we're going to move to the 5-day forecast. For tomorrow, we have a high of 33 degrees, still cloudy. Friday, we are going to see some snow showers at 39 degrees. Saturday, still in the cloudy trend with a high of 28 degrees. Sunday, the snow is back again, so we have a high of 23 degrees. And finally, on Monday, the sun is out with a high of 35 degrees. Guys, can you believe there's going to be another snowstorm? I'm so sick of the snow, but I'm so happy that we're going to get some sunshine on Monday.
Thank you very much, Samantha. It just seems like this winter will never end.
And now we welcome Evan Kahn into the studio to get you set for sports after the break.
Coming up in sports, Lovie Smith makes some finishing touches to his 2018 recruiting class. Then the Illinois men's and women's tennis teams each had a member honored by the Big Ten.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Hey guys, today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Give kisses. Look. Give kisses. Give kisses. You heard how loud that was.
I know,
I heard.
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Bacon.
Families come in all sizes and shapes. Sometimes your friends are your family by choice, or sometimes you're just stuck with Uncle Charles. But what we know is that you want to protect the people that are close to you, but the flu can unravel everything. Your flu vaccine protects you and your family. No matter what draws your family together, protect yourself, protect your family. Everyone needs a flu vaccine.
morning, Illini.
Hey, good morning, Illini, and selamat pagi.
Good morning, Illini.
Starting with football,
We apologize for the technical difficulties as we bring in Evan Kahn in studio. I know you looked all nice and dapper. Now look at you in studio. So let's talk some sports right now. The Illini, it's National Signing Day. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, National Signing Day. Illinois finishing off their 2018 recruiting class. They got a couple more quarterbacks today. A guy out of Peoria, Karan Taylor. 3 quarterbacks in total coming in, with Cam Thomas coming back. So it'll be a young group. They still have 1 scholarship open. So we'll see what they end up doing with that to fill that out. Illinois basketball, they will be, both men's and women's will be in action tomorrow. The men at the State Farm Center against Wisconsin. That'll be an interesting one, with Ethan Happ facing off against the Illini again. He scored 16 when they played up at Madison earlier this year, and they don't really have an inside presence to keep him held down, so we'll see how that goes. The women, they will be in Bloomington, Indiana, taking on the Hoosiers. Nancy Faye's group still looking for their first conference win of the year. It's been tough for them, but, you know, they're working hard, and we can't fault them for that. Over on the men's and women's tennis side, the men had the Big Ten Athlete of the Week. That was Alex Vukic, and the women was, oh no, I'm going to mess this up. Forgive me, it was Mia Randowitz, I believe is her name. She got the Female Athlete of the Week for tennis. Women knocked off Texas last Friday. They were nationally ranked. Vukic had a couple wins over top 5 teams. He did a really nice job. And finally, baseball's getting underway this week. They head down to Texas next week to get things going. And, you know, just spring sports getting underway, winter sports wrapping up, a lot going on campus.
But another question, is Lovie Smith going to be at his press conference tomorrow with that glorious Gandalfian beard?
I'm guessing he will be. He's been sporting it, for at least a month now. He's probably getting used to that cold weather up here in Illinois, so he's got to keep the extra warmth on his face.
So I know we brushed over the National Signing Day, stuff like that. How optimistic are you with men's football and men's basketball, respectively, going into next season?
Next year, both of them, I think it's a transition year. You know, football, they've been losing a lot. They probably need to get some wins next year. And for basketball, another year under Brad Underwood's system, they'll start getting things. He starts getting some of his own players in here. I think the outlook's positive for both programs.
All right, thanks a lot, Evan Kahn. You could see his pre-produced segment on YouTube. Thanks for that, Evan. Knocking sports, always out of the park.
Yeah, thanks for
No pun intended. Naya, you know, Evan, not that optimistic possibly about men's football and men's basketball, but we need to see some turnaround or else I don't know what's going to happen.
We definitely do. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us.
You killed it over there. Okay.